Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Dr. Stephanie Bain, and I'm a visiting professor at Texas A&M University, or International University in Laredo, Texas. And I am joined by my colleague and partner in crime, Miss Nicole Morris. So I'll let her introduce herself, and then we'll get going.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole Morris. I am an assistant professor of practice at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, where I teach speech communication as well as journalism classes. But I've always had a love of high impact practices, in particularly in a virtual settings. So Steph and I kind of are, like she says, partners in crime, and we share a passion for this particular topic when it comes to education.
Yes. So to give you all a little background, and Nicole and I have worked together for years, but prior to COVID, we did a lot of face-to-face trainings, and most of our courses were face-to-face. Although we're both certified in Blackboard, and we do have experience developing and infusing high impact practices, just so you all know, when we transitioned to completely online, even though we knew what to do and we taught what to do, it was still an adjustment for us. So if you're watching this and you're just, kind of, oh my goodness, I'm still trying to catch up and it's still tough, let this be some encouragement that you're not the only one that had to transition to it. And it really isn't as bad as what you might think it is. So with that being said, I know, right? Our topic today is using collaboration to infuse high impact practice strategies in virtual and face-to-face classroom settings. Okay, so one of the ways, and I know this is a video, but if this were a real class, right, and you were here and we were participating, we always like to start off with a get to know you type activity. If this was face to face, Nicole and I have taught, I guess the largest group was maybe 110 student teachers together walking around, and about 6 to 8 at tables. It was amazing. But when you're in, doesn't matter if it's 5 or 110 students, sometimes when you're just meeting them or faculty or colleagues or whatever, you're like, oh my goodness, I've got to learn all these people's names, and now I'm concerned. So we normally do a tree tent, which is basically what it sounds like. Get some cardstock, fold it like, I guess like a hot dog is what I say, hamburger hot dog. And then we have them do a couple of things on it. So this is the modified version for Zoom or Blackboard Collaborate. So in the chat box, we ask, what do you teach? Where are you from? What are you looking forward to getting out of this session? And if you could travel anywhere right now, where would it be? So that's always fun to do. And that really normally goes off pretty well to get it started.
It certainly is a strong icebreaker to use in any setting, whether you're teaching teachers or in your own classrooms. And you can modify this, right? So, you could use it at the start of a semester when people are just getting to know each other in the classroom to break the ice. Or you can use this tree tent really for anything, even as a conversation starter on a specific topic in a course that you're teaching.
Okay, and then we show this video, and it's really just to motivate our students.
When this pandemic first took place, everybody was talking about how amazing and awesome and how essential doctors and nurses and firemen and police officers, first responders are. And I agree, but guess what? You are essential. You all are American heroes, because you show up and you show out every single day for the life of these kids. And when this COVID-19 happened, you told yourself that you would not stop that from allowing you to give these kids the absolute best that they deserve. We're talking about American heroes like the first responders. We're talking about American heroes like Doctors Without Borders. They phenomenal whether they in Afghanistan or in Johns Hopkins University. They told themselves nothing will stop them from being successful. Nothing will stop them from being powerful. Nothing will stop them from bringing that aid. You all are American heroes like Representative John Lewis. He told himself nothing was going to stop him. 45 plus times arrested and put in jail. Skull fracture. He didn't sign up for that, but he signed up for justice. He signed up for equality. He signed up for love. He signed up for unity. And I know what some of you are thinking. You didn't sign up for virtual learning. You didn't sign up for masks in the class. I get it, but you did sign up for education, American hero. You did sign up to bring help and to bring comfort and to bring relief to these kids, American hero. You did sign up to be educators, to mold them and shape the hearts and minds of our future leaders, American hero. You did sign up to go above and beyond and reach these kids where they are, believing that they can do great things in the future, American hero. I got no doubt what you can do and accomplish when you have your mindset and your perspective intact. So do me a favor, don't show the world what you can do. Show the world who you are, American hero.
Okay, that motivates me every time I hear it.
It certainly is a good reminder about what our roles are as educators.
So that activity that we just showed you, and I always think it's great, the power of a motivational clip, quote, something encouraging, and use that in your classrooms as well, not just for us, but for your students or the faculty or your audience that you're teaching. So that activity with introducing yourselves, we normally recommend introducing yourself as well as the moderator, the instructor. Let them get to know you a little bit and recognize what they're writing in the chat. You don't have to go through, right? It's not feasible to go through all them. You can pick out several and you know, maybe say, oh yeah, you know, I'd love to go to Disney World right now too, or something like that. Just that individualized recognition. So okay, so what is collaborate? So I know that, well, oh man, collaboration is group work. Collaboration is not group work. You can be in a group and collaborate, but it's not traditional group work. It is a critical component of active learning. Collaboration is teamwork with shared responsibility. It involves sharing of ideas, information, and opinions. And then the last description we'll have of it is collaborating empowers students to work together towards a common goal while developing positive interdependence. So although they're going towards a common goal, everybody has a responsibility.
A true break, right? Though it's easier to edit. So why are we here today talking about collaboration? Why is it important that we ask our students to collaborate and ask you as educators to focus on collaboration? Well, that's because it's been proven that true collaboration, that true sharing of ideas is integral to the growth of our students' learning, right? It deepens their experiences with material. It exposes them to diverse perspective, which is so important, as well as being respectful and hearing other opinions. And also relating to one another, because we all learn differently. So it's important that they learn that there are different learning styles that work for different people. It's this exposure that can accelerate learning. It can foster critical thinking, deepen understanding, and broaden perspectives. We don't want our students to just regurgitate information. We want them to truly think about them. And one way to do that is by working with other students in true collaboration form.
So the 5 critical elements of a collaborative learning environment. So when you're creating these environments and setting them up for your audience, you want to make sure that there are really 5 overarching descriptors, okay? Positive interdependence, It promotes interaction. So positive interdependence, meaning people have their own ownership and their own responsibility. You also want it to be a situation where they can collaborate with each other, right? Talk to each other, work with each other, developing those social and emotional skills. Individual and group accountability, develop teamwork skills, and then group processing, being able to speak with each other in a setting to where you listen to other people's ideas and then come up with a solution.
Students who learn how to collaborate develop very specific skills that can help them not just in the classroom, but just in general. They learn to work together toward a common goal with another group of students. They develop positive interdependence. So they create, that sense of teamwork, right? Because they're working in focused study groups. And they also learn to support the learning of others through inquiry.
These are just some of the collaborative activities that we're just gonna mention today. If you're interested in getting some more details on this, please feel free to reach out to myself or Nicole, and we can certainly meet with you with that. So here's some of the activities: Socratic seminars, philosophical chairs, group activities and projects, peer editing groups, tutorials, jigsaw activities, collaborative study groups, and service learning projects. And if you're like, I have no idea what those are, we're going to be able to go over Socratic seminar with you today.
So what is Socratic seminar? Well, it's a method used to understand information by creating dialectic in class regarding a specific text. So participants then in a Socratic seminar seek deeper understanding of complex ideas in a text through rigorous, thoughtful dialogue, asking questions of one another, rather than just memorizing bits of information.
So when you're doing and developing a Socratic seminar, what does the text look like? When you're searching for this text to expose your students to and have them look over and read and research on, you want to make sure that it's rich in different issues and values and ideas, and that it raises important questions. And also this text, you don't want it to be like, to feel like, well, this is right and this is wrong. You really want the text to just give information, okay? And at the end of a successful Socratic seminar, your participants will leave with more questions than what they came with. So they're expanding to that higher level thinking and also expanding on prior knowledge, gained knowledge, and looking for future knowledge.
So to start a Socratic seminar, you have to open up with a question that's posed by the leader. And in a classroom setting, the instructor can be that leader. Or if you so choose, once your class is more familiar with Socratic seminar, you can appoint the student to be a leader, right? And it's really important that the opening questions and any questions that follow are purposeful questions, right? They're not a question that can be answered with simply like a yes or a no. We want students to be able to review the text and draw conclusions on their own. So these questions have to encourage that independent thought process.
So when you are, I guess, looking or appointing a leader, the leader can be the instructor, another student, both. The leader throughout the Socratic seminar can change, but you want to make sure whoever you choose or have the students choose as the leader, they need to be a participant as well. So what are the guidelines of being this leader in a Socratic seminar? They're more of a moderator. Think of it like that. They're keeping the discussion focused on the text, by allowing follow-up questions, helping clarify, and when arguments become confused. So you basically want to make sure that everyone's being respectful of each other, really understanding what the text is actually saying, also understanding when other participants are asking questions. Sometimes things get lost in translation, right? So maybe they're not asking the right questions, and to eliminate any hiccups throughout, you're just there to help make it smooth any rough edges.
The participants in a Socratic seminar also carry a burden of responsibility, right, to ensure that the seminar has a certain quality to it, and that the participants gain knowledge or are left with some more, higher critical thinking responses and questions when they leave. So there are 4 ways that participants in a Socratic seminar can ensure that the seminar is successful. And that is, they need to prepare, right? They need to make sure that text is read in advance. They need to be willing to participate. That means they can't be afraid to speak up, right? And so the moderator can help ensure that everybody feels comfortable in sharing their own ideas, as well as supporting one another with their own ideas.
And I know you see probably the AVID at the bottom, and Nicole and I have taught AVID high impact practices. We're both certified trainers. We can share a little more about that with you. But I want y'all to also take note that although a Socratic seminar has been around, right, is named after Socrates. Right. But when we're sharing these high impact practices with you and referencing AVID and the wonderful nonprofit and program that they've come up with over the years, these are also best practices as well. So although you see, yes, it's AVID certified, it's also a best practice and a high impact practice. So I just want to make sure that as you're watching this, it's like, oh man, yeah, this is what I've learned before. I feel like I've done this. But AVID just helps organize all of the professional development. Setup. What do you need to do to the space? Now, we're talking about desk here. This is easily converted and utilized in an online setting. So let me tell you about how it is face to face. And then if you want to think about it a minute, if this were live and we had you in there, we'd probably maybe do some breakout groups to see how you could convert this easily to an online setting. So don't let that scare you when you're reading about high impact practices and learning about them and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm teaching online, this isn't going to transfer. Just take a step back and you'll see how easy it is to transition it to it. So desk arranged in a circle. Okay, we could, because we're on Zoom right now, it really is kind of easy to see everybody on the tiles. You just organize your tiles, right? Text given in advance. You want to make sure you email that out, post it on your online classroom, or if it's face-to-face, you can do the same thing, right? Because most of us have our own websites or portals to our SMS systems, LMS systems. So make sure that the rules are posted. Okay. Allow 45 minutes for this activity. You really want to massage the text. Leader is ready with an opening question, right? So whoever's the leader, they need to kind of come out, pretty strong to get everybody going. Participants respond with textual evidence for support. So they're just not shouting out, different ideas. They're supporting it with the text. And then they're able to respond with questions to information that they hear. So they might be like, okay, well, I respect you for saying that, but I was a little confused, or could you elaborate on what you shared? Students do not raise hands. Okay. Reflect and debrief. and then accountable through a final written piece. So throughout this, you have them writing, inquiry, collaborating, organizing, and reading. Okay, you're getting all those into this one activity.
So before you start a Socratic seminar, in the previous slide, we talked about make sure that all the rules are posted. You also want to make sure that your students understand what their expectations are of them, right? So you want them to be able to ask themselves, did I speak loudly and clearly? Did I cite reasons and evidence for my statements? Did I rely on my text? Was I listening respectfully to others and we stayed on topic? Did I also speak? The leader cannot be the only one that's talking, right? Was I able to paraphrase my information accurately? Did I avoid inappropriate language? Did I ask questions if I was confused or felt like others could have been confused? Was I supportive? Did I avoid hostile exchanges with my peers? That's an important one. And questions, were they asked in a civil manner? And did I seem prepared to everybody else? They need to understand what's expected of them beforehand so they can have a better understanding of what their role is in the Socratic seminar.
So takeaways, things to remember. Students need the text in advance. So your participants, whoever they are for that day, they need it in advance. Seminars usually last approximately 45 minutes. What about the questions? Make sure that they're open-ended and they are leading to further questionings. Okay. Text support. Make sure that the text you're giving supports what you want out of it, and also make sure that your participants are utilizing that text for supporting their own arguments. Okay. How are you going to keep these participants or your students and or accountable? Okay. Create an end product, a reflection, a short answer, quick write. It doesn't have to even be that much, but attach a rubric. And so that they're not just having this conversation, they're able to take the information that they've learned and their experience and reflect on it. And just always reiterate, it's a discussion, not a debate.
So there are a lot of benefits to utilizing the Socratic seminar. For one, it allows for our students to have in-depth discussions, use their problem-solving skills, and be able to clarify ideas. It builds a strong collaborative work culture within your classroom setting so that the benefits of a Socratic seminar go far beyond just that one activity, because you're teaching your students to collaborate and you've created this new culture in your classroom that encourages knowledge and research-based thinking and responses, which then of course leads to success for your students. It also allows you to teach respect for diverse ideas, people, as well as practices. And most importantly, it creates a positive learning environment for all of your students.
So what's the difference? And normally what we do when we are doing this in a live presentation, just so y'all know, we would let our participants look at this slide. So just take a minute to check it out and you compare. Look at it and think, hey, wait a minute, like, what can I do? Or, oh yeah, I get that. Or maybe I use that. And maybe I could modify this. And then we might do a breakout group of identify one thing that you have learned from this session that you can say, oh yeah, I do this traditionally. Maybe I do collaborative work, but at the end, I don't ever have them turn anything in. And then you can say, okay, wait a minute, this is how I'm going to actually get that end result. So take a minute to look at traditional and collaborative. Feel free to pause this presentation. But basically, when you're looking at this, think traditional is not independent. it does not promote self-directed learning. It doesn't promote interdependence. But with collaborative, yeah, they're still working in a group, but they are still being held accountable individually.
So we want to show you a short video, since we were doing this in a Zoom session, as to how a Socratic seminar works. In a traditional setting, we would actually model the Socratic seminar with our participants, right? So this is just a quick look at how Socratic seminar can look in any classroom with students of any age.
Right or a wrong answer, yes or no?
Consider all viewpoints and ideas, and then know that you're responsible for the quality of the seminar.
In my 30 years as a teacher, coach, mentor and master teacher, department chair, district administrator, and now as an educational consultant, I've never come across a strategy more powerful than Socratic seminars to engage kids in critical thinking and critical reading. Teachers from across the nation who I have trained and coached in Socratic seminar leadership skills, including the teachers you'll see today from Vancouver Public Schools in Washington State, have been experiencing the same successes.
Now I'm going to ask this to everybody, and some people maybe have the same idea or they have a different idea, but why?
Socratic seminars engage, inspire, and challenge students of all grade levels and abilities to listen, think, read, and speak critically and divergently about great ideas across all disciplines.
Well, they said they were civil rights movement, but who supports?
Socratic seminars give students a voice in their classrooms and in their learning. Socratic seminars provide comfort, curiosity, and challenge because students are heard, understood, and valued.
So he's going to have to pay even more back if he takes a large sack.
Socratic seminars originate from the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, who believed that through thoughtful questioning, students can arrive at the truth.
Okay, so Mr. Hanson will be right there. And we're going to walk the circle so everyone can be in it. So we'll have ones.
Socratic seminars place students and teacher in a circle to participate in a dialogue, expressing their thoughts and feelings about big ideas in a common text that the group has read, heard, or seen.
Well, in our essay, it talked about how the community was.
Socratic seminars are a collective inquiry. Socratic seminars have no one single right answer, but have many possible answers or perspectives. Socratic seminars are an exchange of ideas, going beyond sharing of personal experiences and opinions. The goal of a Socratic seminar is for students to learn to collectively make meaning of a text and its ideas through dialogue. Socratic seminars are authentic conversations that are marked by 4 interconnected elements. The first element of a Socratic seminar is that it is a text-based conversation. Text can be drawn from readings in literature, history, science, math, health, philosophy, or from works of art or music. The second element is the question. Each Socratic seminar begins with an opening question that is interpreted.
I'd like to offer you this quote. So this is from Martin Luther King. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. So my question for you is, what do you owe your community?
The leader is genuinely curious about the question. It has no single right answer. It encourages students to enlarge their understanding of big ideas, and it is best addressed by referring to the text. Just as important as the opening question
is the teacher's use of Socratic questioning strategies that focus attention on the words, thoughts, ideas, and questions that students contribute as they explore the text and its ideas.
So you kind of agree with Anna that his family's gonna go hungry if he doesn't steal this rice. Why? Now, I'm gonna ask this to everybody, and some people maybe have the same idea or they have a different idea, but why does it matter? Why does that make it not dishonest if he's doing it to keep his family alive? Why does that make it not dishonest?
This emerging text of the students often becomes the most important content of the Socratic seminar. The third element is the dual role of the leader. The leader facilitates the seminar while at the same time participates in the group's mutual exploration of the text and its ideas. It is through the role of participant that the leader models habits of mind and thoughtfulness, which shows students the critical thinking and critical reading skills of intellectual discourse.
Can anybody find the page where he actually says that?
Lastly, it is the participants which bring a Socratic seminar to life. Students learn the importance of reading closely, listening intently, speaking clearly, and thinking creatively and divergently. While the intellectual and academic skills gained by students are important, Socratic seminars also teach students civility. They learn to express themselves passionately while they learn to accept the differing views of their classmates.
All right, so just as a reminder, these are up here. I'm going to review the ground rules, and I'm going to make a small suggestion about what I'd like for you to do today, particularly if speaking in front of the group comes easily to you. Okay.
Socratic seminars are civil and thoughtful conversations because participants follow 9 simple, clear ground rules.
Speak so that all can hear you. Listen closely. Speak without raising hands. Refer to the text. Talk to each other and to the middle of the circle, not just to the leader. Ask others for clarification. Don't stay confused. Invite and allow others to speak. Consider all viewpoints and ideas. Know that you are responsible for the quality of the seminar.
The greatest value for students, I think, in doing Socratic seminar is that it gives them an opportunity to talk seriously about a topic that is worth talking about.
I believe that kids become more empowered by the use of Socratic seminar. Not often in the daily crazy routine of middle school in particular. We don't have a lot of time to listen to children and listen to what they're thinking and their feelings and their thoughts are.
The greatest thing that they gain from it is just building a collective understanding, and not necessarily collective agreement, but a collective understanding that is much greater than what they could ever achieve just on their own.
Well, across the board in all curricular areas, we're asking kids more and more to be able to synthesize information, to move beyond the summary stage, to analyze things. And by using the process of the Socratic seminar, we're able to help kids have conversations around those topics, synthesizing, looking, analyzing, giving their opinion, listening to the opinions of others.
There's a whole bunch of reading standards involved in there. Making connections, listening to other people's ideas, and kind of challenging your own. And then communication standards are another piece that's huge in there, being able, not just to formulate an idea, but to communicate that idea to somebody else, which is a whole another level of thinking.
You might think that because students are just sitting around talking that it's not addressing standards, but in fact, most of our standards have to do with higher order thinking, or many of our standards do, such as analyzing, synthesizing, evaluating, and those are really the activities that students are engaged in when they do seminar.
I would encourage any teacher to try it, just because it's a powerful piece to see your students really listening to other people's ideas and saying things, off the top of my head. I've had students tell me, well, talking about a character in a book and saying, um, they were judging this character. They just couldn't really see his heart and what he was like on the inside. It's when a student says something like that that something powerful is going on.
And I've done seminar with a range of students. Currently, I do seminar with AP students, but I've also done seminar in strategic reading interventions. And in all cases, students have risen to the occasion and they take it seriously and they speak to each other in a respectful manner. And I think they walk away from it with an enriched understanding of whatever the topic was.
That's what kids like to talk. And if you can direct them talking in a way that has some boundaries, they'll do a great job at it. They've never let me down. Even the kids that are quiet, they get a sense of, gosh, this is really what I need to be doing. This is going to be fun. And I think that they all benefit from it in that reason. I just taking advantage of the fact that they love to talk.
Yeah, I really think it actually educates to be able to talk and be able to discuss things about certain stories. Usually if you just read something and you don't really, you just read it, but you don't even think about it, it's really good just to be able to take what you read and just spread it out and try to discuss certain things about it. I think it really helps a lot.
When you open your mind in a Socratic seminar, your opinions change, your outlook on even life aspects. I mean, it's amazing.
Because when we have our discussions, we go over our ideas together, and that helps us build a stronger idea with more support. And the support helps us get a stronger answer and then what we had before.
It's important that we have an opportunity to share to others what we think about, and it's if we share, it's gives other people ideas when we're talking about the topic, if other people are kind of confused.
Doing the Socratic seminar gives me a chance to really delve into the material and think about stuff that I wouldn't normally think, and then doing the Socratic seminar, I can express what I've come up with that maybe I wouldn't have necessarily thought of at first and maybe not have expressed before. So it helps me to put out new ideas, I guess.
I think it helps us with, learning the material and giving us a way to talk about it, but not getting in trouble for it in class or anything, because it's part of the class.
When you discuss, you can get more ideas, and then if you put them together, you might have a better idea.
What I like about credit seminar is that it gives you a lot of brain knowledge about what to talk about before you say something, and also it helps you get ideas about what you're gonna speak about.
Really delving deep into your own mind, trying to figure out what you think about a topic. You have a former thinking about it, but until you get to hear other people's point of views and until you really talk about it, you don't really know what you think. I mean, you think you know what you think.
All right. So what you saw were 3 different grade levels being able to utilize that in a face-to-face. So utilize Socratic seminar in their face-to-face course. So something we want to just mention and kind of bring it all together is that you probably noticed that these are avid strategies. And if you've seen us present before, you know that Nicole and I are both avid certified trainer of trainers. Prior to my work at A&M International, I was the avid liaison at Texas A&M University Kingsville, where Nicole is currently at. And in my current role at A&M International, We are in the process of becoming an AVID for post-secondary school. So that's in the works. But the basis of AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, is college readiness. And even if that means, well, wait a minute, K-12, we're not K-12. Well, yeah, whoever is in your classrooms in higher ed, or maybe you are K-12, you want them to be prepared, have the correct rigor and relevance. So when you see AVID at the bottom, AVID is not, they do not develop their own individualized best practices, but what they do is help organize these things. You may already be incorporating a lot of these high impact practices in your classroom. This is just a way to help you revise it. These trainings are here to help you refine it and also to incorporate more and diversify the activities that you're using. So yes, as you do this training and you're looking at this video today, you are seeing firsthand just how some of these activities can help and bring your students to that higher level and participants to that higher level thinking.
Very good. Well, thank you all for tuning in for our training. Again, we're sorry that things didn't quite work out as we wanted. But again, as Dr. Bain said, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either one of us. Thank you.
Thank you.